For 16 years, Gilgo Beach was a question nobody could answer. It was a case that lingered in the heart of many. The spontaneous disappearances left a void nothing could fill, and for the victims' families it was way worse. For years they stayed waiting, hoping and praying. Finally, this week, the people got closure. On Wednesday, Rex Heuermann stood in a Long Island courtroom and listened as a judge told him point-blank exactly what kind of man he is. Then that judge sent him to prison for the rest of his life. This isn't the trial everyone was bracing for back in 2023. It's something else, and in some ways, it's worse for him.
Is there anything you wish to say before I pronounce sentence?
Yes. There are no
Stand up.
There are no words I can say. I am responsible for what was said in this room today. The words I would say have no meaning, and I'm going to leave it there at this time.
Speak up.
Mr. Heuermann, as Mr. Tierney said, I know that you're sorry that you got caught. I assume that you're sorry for what you've done to your wife and children. Are you a little bit sorry for what you did to these poor innocent women? 8 women that you strangled to death? At least 8 that we know of? Are you at least a little bit sorry for that? Yes?
Yes, I am.
You know what? You've been described as a very big man. But you're a disgusting and despicable small man, if you're a man at all. And you're a coward.
Back in July 2023, Rex Heuermann was in tears. A New York-based architect with no criminal record, he had just spent his first night in jail following his arrest in the notorious Gilgo Beach serial killings. He pleaded not guilty, and his defense attorney relayed to reporters what his client had told him in tears. "I didn't do this." Heuermann adamantly claimed he was innocent for nearly 3 years. Due to this, a trial was set to begin in September 2026. But in April 2026, with the trial just months away, Heuermann did something nobody fully expected. He changed his plea, not to 1 murder, to 7. Sandra Castilla, Valerie Mack, Jessica Taylor, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. 7 women, killed between 1993 and 2010, finally accounted for by the only person who could account for them. Their murderer, Rex Heuermann, and he didn't stop there. In open court, Heuermann detailed to the court how he lured, strangled, and disposed of his victims over a 17-year span. He also admitted that he intentionally caused the death of an 8th woman, Karen Vergata, who disappeared in 1996. As part of the plea deal, Heuermann will not be charged with Vergata's currently uncharged murder.
Have your own free will?
Yes.
On the record with number 8, Rex Heuermann, parties are steering to.
It is the understanding of the District Attorney's Office that the defendant will plead guilty to 7 counts in the indictment, specifically counts 1 through 3 and counts 7 through 10. Counts 4 through 6 will be dismissed in satisfaction at the time of the defendant's sentencing. In addition to allocuting to and admitting his factual guilt to all elements of counts 1 through 3 and 7 through 10 of the indictment, the defendant further agrees that although he has not been charged with this crime, he will admit as part of his plea that he intentionally caused the death of Karen Vergata and transported and left her remains in Suffolk County in 1996.
Have you discussed this case with your attorney?
Yes, I have.
Have you had enough time to discuss this case with your attorney?
Yes, I have.
After discussions with your lawyer, you feel it's in your best interest to plead guilty rather than go to trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the manner in which your attorney's represented you in this case?
Yes, I am.
The only thing I want to interject, Judge, Mr. Tierney has indicated in exchange for the pleas that we're going to enter into this morning, there'll be no further prosecutions on the 8 victims that he's referenced. He is also, my client is also obligated to completely, truthfully, and fairly cooperate with the Federal Bureau of Investigation's Behavioral Analysis Unit as part of what we've just discussed.
Any other promises made to you?
Other than what I've just said.
No.
Surprisingly, In one of the most unusual conditions of his plea deal, Rex Heuermann agreed to open his mind to the very experts who have spent decades hunting serial killers. The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit, the real-life profiling division that inspired Mindhunter, they will conduct extensive interviews with Heuermann, seeking answers to the questions that have haunted investigators for years. Why did he kill? How did he choose his victims? And most importantly, how did he evade capture for so long? Authorities hope that studying his psychology may provide critical insights into the minds of future predators and help law enforcement recognize the warning signs of serial offenders before more lives are lost. Additionally, Heuermann gave up something most defendants hold on to until the very end: his right to appeal. No trial, no years of motions and delays, just a confession and a sentence. In his case, a life sentence. That sentence came down this past Wednesday, and it did not go quietly. One by one, the families of his victims stood up and faced the man who took their daughters, sisters, and mothers away from them. Valerie Mack's adopted mother, Joanne Mack, told him directly, "What you have done is beyond words." Jessica Taylor's cousin, Jasmine Robinson, didn't hold back either. "A million years isn't enough." Maureen Brainerd Barnes' sister, Melissa Cann, spoke about decades of survivors' guilt. Guilt, she said, was never really hers to carry. It belonged to Rex. Two of the children in that courtroom never really got to know their mothers at all. Megan Waterman's daughter, Liliana, was 3 when her mother disappeared. Brainerd Barnes' son, Dylan, was 1. Decades later, they were the ones standing up, telling the man responsible exactly what that cost them. Through all of it, Heuermann barely reacted, obviously unremorseful, hands folded, seemingly unbothered, staring straight ahead.
This was a calculated, unimaginable evil. The pain and devastation your murders have caused is immeasurable. I was only 7 years old when I lost my mother, and for the next 3 years she was missing. I had to wonder what happened to her. The first time I remember experiencing depression in my life was my first Christmas without her. I didn't realize at the time that that's what it was, but I remember just feeling so empty and wondering why I felt so sad when it was Christmas and I had received every present I wanted. But I didn't have my mother. I was a little girl and I needed my mom. When Rex chose to take Maureen's life, he didn't just take her from us. He took my sense of safety. He took my peace of mind. He took the way I used to move through the world without fear. In many ways, I became one of his victims too. The last words she said to me were, "I love you. I'll see you tomorrow," because she was supposed to come home from New York City. Her words never left me. They still echo in my mind. What you have done to our family is beyond what words can express. Even though justice is done, it cannot replace what you have taken from us. For so many years, this case has been a weight I carried every single day. A burden of unanswered questions, grief, and a sense that justice has not been served. Constantly having to look over my shoulder, making sure nobody was following me or trying to see where I was heading to. For years, my mother's murder has been discussed in articles, television specials, podcasts, and across social media. There are weeks when I cannot bring myself to open any social apps because I'm constantly confronted with reminders of the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I've spent 16 mother days without my mom. I have lived thousands of days without her. I am now the same age my mom was when she was first pregnant with me, and I realized just how young she really was. I feel as though I have barely begun to understand life, yet she was denied the chance to live hers. 23 years we waited. For a while it felt like this day would never come. The pain and devastation your murders have caused is immeasurable. Sometimes it doesn't feel real.
You thought you took her voice, but you didn't know that she had people who loved her. You hunted her, and I hunted you.
When I lost her, I was just 1 year old. My earliest memories are defined by anxiety, fear, and sadness, not knowing where she had went and why I did not have her in my life. I don't remember her voice or her face or the love she gave me as a baby. I never had my mom to see me on my first days of school. I never had her when I graduated. I never had her when I needed her, and I will never have her in the future when I need her.
Almost an entire human being. When Rex Heuermann took her from the world, he took someone with hopes and plans for her life. He took a mother, a daughter, an aunt, a friend. He took someone who was deeply loved and can never be replaced.
Here's the sentence itself. 3 consecutive terms of life without parole for the first-degree murder counts, plus 4 more consecutive terms of 25 years to life for the second-degree murder counts. Every sentence stacked on top of the last. Heuermann unquestionably will die in prison. There is no version of this where he walks out alive.
As a result of your plea of guilty to murder in the first degree and count 1 of indictment 73544 of 2024, it's essentially court that you served the rest of your life without the possibility of parole. With respect to count 2, murder in the first degree, it's essentially court that you serve the rest of your life without the possibility of parole. With respect to count 3, plead guilty to murder in the first degree, it's essentially the court that you serve the rest of your life without the possibility of parole. Those 3 sentences to run consecutive with each other. With respect to count 7, murder in the second degree, it's essentially the court that you serve an indeterminate term of imprisonment with a minimum of 25 years and a maximum of your life. With respect to count 8, murder in the second degree, it's essentially the court that you serve an indeterminate term of imprisonment with a minimum of 25 years and a maximum of your life. With respect to count 9, murder in the second degree, it's essentially the court that you serve an indeterminate term of imprisonment with a minimum of 25 years and a maximum of your life. And finally, with respect to count 10, murder in the second degree, it's essentially the court that you serve an indeterminate term of imprisonment with a minimum of 25 years and a maximum of your life. All of those sentences to run consecutive with each other. All right, get him out of here.
But here's where this story takes a turn that nobody saw coming. Deep inside a prison in Oregon sits another killer, Keith Hunter Jesperson, known to the world as the Happy Face Killer, a man who also murdered at least 8 women between 1990 and 1995, and who signed his confessions to the police with cheerful smiley faces. Since Heuermann's arrest, Jesperson has reportedly sent him over 40 letters, and Rex Heuermann, out of everyone who wrote to him, the journalists, the true crime fanatics, the pen pal seekers, he wrote back to only one person, Keith Hunter Jesperson, 2 of the most prolific serial killers in modern American history, exchanging handwritten letters in prison cells thousands of miles apart. What are they really saying to each other? Is it mentorship, manipulation, or something far more calculated that we haven't yet begun to understand? 16 long years, 8 unfortunate victims, and multiple shattered families, whose lives were changed and affected forever. Finally, a sentence is delivered, one that puts something concrete on a case, that for most of its existence, had none. If you're new here, this is exactly the kind of case True Crime Bank exists for. The ones that take years to resolve, and the moment they finally do. Kindly subscribe so you don't miss what comes next, because for Gilgo Beach, this might not be the last update.